Wonder, Part 5. This is written from Justin's point of view. Sometimes I think my head is so big because it's so full of dreams. John Merrick in Bernard Pomerance's The Elephant Man. Pages 187 through to 195. Olivia's brother. The first time I met Olivia's little brother, I have to admit, I was totally shaken, taken by surprise. I shouldn't have been, of course. Olivia told me about his syndrome, even described what it looks like. But she's also talked to me about all his surgeries that he's had over the years, so I guess I assumed to be more normal looking by now. Like when a kid is born with a cleft palate and there's plastic surgery to fix it, sometimes you can't even tell except for the little scar above the lip. I guess I thought a brother would have some scars here and there, but not this. I definitely wasn't expecting to see this little kid in a baseball cap who's sitting in front of me right now. Actually, there are two kids sitting in front of me. One is a totally normal looking kid with curly blonde hair named Jack. The other is Augie. I like to think I'm able to hide my surprise. I hope I do. Surprise is one of those emotions that can be hard to fake though. Whether you're trying to look surprised when you're not trying, or not look surprised when you are. I shake his hand. I shake the other kid's hand. I don't want to focus on his face. Cool room, I say. Are you Via's boyfriend? He says. I think he's smiling. Olivia pushes down his baseball cap. Is that a machine gun? The blonde kid asks, like I haven't heard that one before. And we talk about Zed Echo for a bit. And then Via's taking my hand and leading me out of the room. As soon as we close the door behind us, we hear them laughing. I'm from Brooklyn, one of them sings. Olivia rolls her eyes as she smiles. Let's go hang out in my room, she says. We've been dating for 2 months now. I knew from the moment I saw her, the minute she sat down at our table in the cafeteria, that I liked her. I couldn't keep my eyes off her. Really beautiful, with olive skin and bluest eyes I've ever seen in my life. At first she acted like she only wanted to be friends. I think she kind of gives off that vibe without meaning to. Stay back, don't even bother. She doesn't flirt like some other girls do. She looks you right in the eye when she talks to you, like she's daring you. So I just kept looking her right in the eye too, like I was daring her right back. And then I asked her out, and then she said yes, which rocked. She's an awesome girl and I love hanging out with her. She didn't tell me about August until our third date. I think she used the phrase, a craniofacial abnormality, to describe his face. Or maybe it was craniofacial anomaly. I know the one word she didn't use was deformed though, because that word would have registered with me. So what do you think? She asked me nervously the second we're inside the room. Are you shocked? No, I lie. She smiles and looks away. You're shocked. I'm not, I assure her. It's just like what you said he'd be. She nods and plops down on her bed. Kinda cute how she saws a lot of stuffed animals on her bed. She takes one of them, a polar bear, without thinking and puts it in her lap. I sit down on the rolling chair by her desk. Her room is immaculate. When I was little, she says, there were lots of kids who never came back for a second play date. I mean, lots of kids. I even have friends who wouldn't come to my birthdays because he would be there. They never actually told me this, but it will get back to me. Some people just don't know how to deal with Augie, you know? I nod. It's not even like they know they're being mean, she adds. They're just scared. I mean, let's face it, his face is a little scary, right? I guess, I answer. But you're okay with it? She asks me sweetly. You're not too freaked out or scared? I'm not freaked out or scared, I smile. She nods and looks down at the polar bear on her lap. I can't tell whether she believes me or not, but then she gives the polar bear a kiss on the nose and tosses it to me with a little smile. I think that means she believes me, or at least she wants to. Valentine's Day. I got Olivia a heart necklace for Valentine's Day, and she gives me a messenger bag she's made out of old floppy disks. Very cool how she makes things like that. Earrings out of pieces of circuit boards, dresses out of t-shirts, bags out of old jeans. She's so creative. I tell her she should be an artist someday, but she wants to be a scientist, a geneticist of all things. She wants to find cures for people like her brother, I guess. We make plans for me to finally meet her parents. A Mexican restaurant named Swat Avenue near her house on Saturday night. All day long I'm nervous about it, and when I get nervous my tics come out. I mean, my tics are always there, but they're not like they used to be when I was little. Nothing but a few hard blinks now, the occasional head pull, but when I'm stressed they get worse, and I'm definitely stressing about meeting her folks. They're waiting inside when I get to the restaurant. The dad gets up and shakes my hand. The mom gives me a hug. I give Augie a hello fist punch and kiss Olivia on the cheek before I sit down. It's so nice to meet you, Justin. We've heard so much about you. Her parents couldn't be nicer, put me at ease right away. The waiter brings over the menus and I notice his expression the moment he lays his eyes on August. But I pretend not to notice. I guess we're all pretending not to notice things tonight. The waiter, my tics, the way August crushes the tortilla chips on the table and spoons the crumbs into his mouth. I look at Olivia and she smiles at me. She knows. She sees the way his face. She sees my tics. Olivia is a girl who sees everything. We spend the entire dinner talking and laughing. Olivia's parents ask me about my music, how I got into the fiddle and stuff like that. I tell them about how I used to play classical violin, but I got into Appalachian folk music and then Zydeco, and then they're listening to every word like they're really interested. They tell me to let them know the next time my band's playing a gig so they can come and listen. I'm not used to all the attention, to be truthful. My parents don't have a clue about what to do with my life. They never ask. About what I want to do with my life. They never ask. We never talk like this. I don't think they even know I traded my Baroque violin for an 8-stringed hardanger fiddle 2 years ago. After dinner we go back to Olivia's for some ice cream. The dog greets us at the door. An old dog, super sweet. She's thrown up all over the hallway though. Olivia's mum rushes to get paper towels while the dad picks the dog up like she's a baby. "What's up, old girl?" he says, and the dog's in heaven. Tongue hanging out, tail wagging, legs in the air at awkward angles. "Dad, tell Justin how you got Daisy," says Olivia. "Yeah," says Oggy. The dad smiles and sits down in a chair with the dog still cradled in his arms. It's obvious he's told the story a lot of times, and they all love to hear it. "So I'm coming home from the subway one day," he says, "and a homeless guy I've never seen in this neighbourhood before is pushing this floppy mutt in a stroller. He comes up to me and he says, 'Hey mister, want to buy my dog?' And without even thinking about it, I say, 'Sure, how much do you want?' And he says, $10. So I give him $20. The $20 I have in my wallet, and he hands me the dog. Justin, I'm telling you, you've never smelled anything so bad in your life. She stank so much, I can't tell you. So I took her right from there to the vet, down to the vet. I took her right there to the vet down the street, and then I brought her home. Didn't even call me first, by the way, the mum interjects as she cleans the floor, to see if I'm okay with his bringing home some homeless guy's dog. The dog actually looks over at Mum when she says this, like she understands everything everyone is saying about her. She's a happy dog, like she knows she's lucked out that day finding this family. I kind of know how she feels. I like Olivia's family, they laugh a lot. My family's not like this at all. My mum and dad got divorced when I was 4 and they pretty much hate each other. I grew up spending half of every week in my dad's apartment in Chelsea and the other half in my mum's place in Brooklyn Heights. I have a half-brother who's 5 years older than me and barely knows I exist. For as long as I can remember, I felt like my parents could hardly wait for me to be old enough to take care of myself. You can go to the store by yourself. Here's the key to the apartment. It's funny how a word like overprotected describes some parents, but no word that means the opposite. What word did you use to describe parents who don't protect you enough? Underprotective, neglectful, self-involved, lame? All of the above. Olivia's family tell each other I love you all the time. I can't remember the last time anyone in my family said that to me. By the time I go home, my tics have all stopped. Our Town. We're doing the play Our Town for the spring show this year. Olivia dares me to try out for the lead role, the stage manager, and somehow I get it. Total fluke. Never got any lead roles in anything before. I tell Olivia she brings me good luck. Unfortunately, she doesn't get the female lead, Emily Gibbs. The pink-haired girl named Miranda gets it. Olivia gets a bit part and is also the Emily understudy. I'm actually more disappointed than Olivia is. She almost seems relieved. I don't love people staring at me, she says, which is sort of strange coming from such a pretty girl. Part of me thinks she blew her audition on purpose. The spring show is at the end of April. It's mid-March now, so that's less than 6 weeks to memorise my part, plus rehearsal time, plus practising with my band, plus finals, plus spending time with Olivia. It's going to be a rough 6 weeks, that's for sure. Mr. Davenport, the drama teacher, who's already manic about the whole thing, will drive us crazy by the time it's over, no doubt. I heard, though, through the grapevine, that he'd been planning on doing The Elephant Man, but changed it to Our Town at the last minute, and that change took a week off our rehearsal schedule. Not looking forward to the craziness of the next month and a half. Ladybug. Olivia and I are sitting on her front stoop. She's helping with my lines. It's a warm March evening, almost like summer. The sky is still bright cyan, but the sun is low and the sidewalks are streaked with long shadows. I'm reciting. Yes, the sun's come up over 1,000 times. Summers and winters have cracked the mountains a little bit more, and the rains have brought down some of the dirt. Some babies that weren't even born before have begun talking regular sentences already, and a number of people who thought they were right young and spry have noticed that they can't bound up a flight of stairs like they used to without their heart fluttering a little. I shake my head. I can't remember the rest. All that can happen in 1,000 days. Olivia prompts me, reading from the script. Right, I say, shaking my head. I sigh. I'm wiped, Olivia. How the heck am I going to remember all these lines? You will, she answers confidently. She reaches out and cups her hands over a ladybug that appears out of nowhere. See? A good luck sign, she says, slowly lifting the top of her hand to reveal the ladybug walking on the palm of her other hand. Good luck, or just the hot weather? I joke. Of course good luck, she answers, watching the ladybug crawl up her wrist. There should be a thing about making a wish on the ladybug. Oggy and I used to do it with fireflies when we were little. She cups her hand over the ladybug again. Come on, make a wish. Close your eyes. I dutifully close my eyes. A long second passes, then I open them. Did you make a wish? She asks. Yep. She smiles, uncups her hands, and the ladybug, as if on cue, spreads its wings and flits away. Don't you want to know what I wish for? I asked, kissing her. No, she answers shyly, looking up at the sky, which, at this very moment, is the exact same colour as her eyes. I made a wish too, she says mysteriously, but she has so many things she could wish for, I have no idea what she's thinking.